Episode 3 of the 9 Point Started with a Dream podcast. Hey guys, welcome to the 9 Point Started with a Dream podcast. I'm your host, Jacoby Gillum. Today's episode is pretty cool. We have Pauline, Pita, Macias, and Lin I. These two right here are a power couple on the truest landing for sure. Today we kind of go through Pauline's journey from judo in the Olympic Training Center, then how she's now an up-and-coming MMA fighter, how Lin kind of came in her life through one little simple IG DM, so how they kind of navigate this journey together, how they kind of feed off each other's energy, and how couples kind of learn from their story. So here we go. The question I like to start with is, when you were younger, what was one of your biggest dreams as an athlete?
Well, I started gymnastics when I was a baby, in the mommy and daddy and me classes kind of thing. And then I was a cheerleader as well, like hardcore cheerleader gymnast as a kid. And then once I started judo, it kind of I started judo when I was 7. So I was a cheerleader, did cheerleading, gymnastics, and judo all at the same time, like most of my life. And that's what I just knew, that I wanted to be the greatest athlete in the world. That was literally my one thing I always told myself growing up. I don't know necessarily I of course wanted to be an Olympian. Like that was my goal. I always saw myself as an Olympian, either in gymnastics or judo, when I was really, really young. As I got older, turned to judo, but I knew I wanted to be the greatest athlete in the world.
Love it.
So what about judo and gymnastics kind of made you want to gravitate towards those sports over other?
Well, gymnastics, I loved, I love, the adrenaline rush of learning new tricks, like new flips and whatnot, and it being dangerous, or having to, try to do a backflip off on a 4-inch beam and stay on it. Like that thrill. I love that thrill. And so gymnastics I just loved, so that's why I really gravitated towards it. And I knew that gymnastics made me the most flexible person, and it made me the strongest person always when it came to judo. So in judo, I always, when I was a kid, I was so strong, so I could really outstrength a lot of people, a lot of the girls and guys when I was little. And I was flexible, so I could get out of any throw. Anytime they tried to get me in any kind of throw, I could get out of it. And I really had a lot of success young. I started judo in the end of November of 1995. I think it was by May or so, I had won the state championships in my age and weight. That June, or I think that July, I won the national championships in my age and weight, and so at that point I was just the success, and it was fun to win, and it's fun to go to tournaments. You got to hang out with your friends that you are always with, and we traveled all the time, so it was really fun. I enjoyed it, and I like playing checkers and chess, and judo was very much like a chess game for me, so it kept my mind stimulated, because you're always trying to basically out trick the other person to win the fight. So that's why I gravitate towards those two. But cheerleading, it's funny, but actually cheerleading was my love. I was a damn good cheerleader growing up.
Awesome.
I know everybody laughs about it, but I was such a hardcore cheerleader, and I even I cheered till I was 18, and then I worked for the National Cheerleading Association. So they would send me around the country, and I would coach cheer camps universities and colleges, junior colleges and high schools and stuff. So those 3 sports are my thing.
So I know you're starting a new sport, and it comes to kind of MMA fighting. What made you may want to kind of redirect from just the judo to gymnastics to now MMA fighting? What kind of happened in between there to kind of make you want to make that adjustment?
I kind of always did them all together. You know what I mean? And then once I got to that was one of the biggest decisions I had to make, and was that I wanted to cheer in college, or I wanted to go to the Olympic Training Center and do judo. So I ended up doing that. So once I went to college, it was strictly judo, and I was at the Olympic Training Center. So I went to just a one sport athlete,
What helped you kind of make that decision to go to judo instead of cheerleading?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the hardest decisions of my life. I know that sounds crazy, but literally one of the hardest decisions of my life. But I really I knew I wanted to make an Olympic team, and I wanted to chase that dream. And plus with cheerleading, I had just been hired by the National Cheerleading Association. So I was like, cool, I get to still coach cheerleading and judge competitions and be around the cheer world a little bit. and make some money while I'm being just a judo athlete now. So it kind of gave me the best of both worlds. But more than anything, I wanted to go to the Olympic Training Center because I wanted to continue, trying to be the greatest athlete in the world and, make that Olympic run.
And what was that like?
Oh my gosh, I can't even explain it. I remember, so I went to visit the Olympic Training Center twice in high school, and I just remember the first time I ever stepped foot at the Olympic Training Center. I was like a kid at Disneyland for the first time. I was just like, oh my God, it's beautiful. It was just like heaven on earth to me, And so I knew that I wanted that. If I had the opportunity to go to the Olympic training, you have to be asked to go there. And my senior year, I actually got asked by the Olympic coach, to move to the Olympic Training Center. And so it was that feeling, I can't even explain it. I mean, to be you walk around, you see all these athletes that you see on TV all the time. They're just there, they're training. You go into the weight room and you see all the, people from all different sports, and just, I mean, these are all the best of the best athletes. And just to be surrounded by that was just, oh my gosh, it's incredible. And then to be a part of it, to be, even be included in that, small percentage of, Americans is just incredible. And I don't know, I can't even explain that feeling. It's pretty amazing.
That's awesome. So to get to that point, you got to have something just in you and kind of keeping you driving, keeping you going. So what kind of helped you just keep going, keep driving yourself to want to be the best version of yourself?
Well, I'm just for me, I mean, I was very much a self-driven person, I mean, the thing about the Olympic Training Center is there are Olympic rings everywhere, and the Olympic rings are, mean so much to me, because that's something I've chased every single time I walked into a gym, single time I stepped on a mat. Those Olympic rings were there, and that was my goal. That was a drive enough. The Olympic team was a drive. That's what pushed me. I wanted to be, the best in the world, and so that, I mean, that itself is just what drove me. I mean, you make a goal and you want to accomplish it, and you do everything you can to accomplish it. So that that really drove me. And I was just lucky to have a lot of support, from my family and friends and stuff. And so just it's easier to push when you have, good support. So.
Okay, so speaking on support, so when did you two, Lin and Pauline, meet? Was it while Pauline was still at the Olympic Training Center doing judo stuff, or was it more toward the MMA days? How did that connection happen?
We met, well, Lin, you want to tell it? Because she says I say it wrong.
Well, she makes me sound like a stalker.
Share your truth.
Kind of creepy.
No, it's not. It works. It works, yeah. So Lin was a fan of mine for years.
Yeah, so I followed Ronda Rousey for years, before the UFC. I was just a huge fan, just respected her so much as a female, and then, a female athlete. And I saw Pauline pop up on Ronda's social media, and she definitely sparked my interest. So I started following her as well, and just kind of watching her career, and for years. And then I guess after a 2-year breakup with an ex and a bottle of wine, I decided to send her a message on social media.
The DMs.
And yes, I did slide the DM.
Slid the DM on Instagram. I did. On Instagram, I remember that.
And I'm not mad about it either. She responded, and we seriously, the day I messaged her, I mean, ever since then, it's been crazy. We've talked for hours on the phone when, we were apart. And I mean, I'm talking I get off work, talk for hours on the phone. The sun comes up, I have to get ready for work. And I mean, we literally from the day I messaged her on,
yeah,
we talked nonstop. We both made trips. I made trips to LA. She made trips to Nashville. Yeah.
So y'all were different coasts when this first sparked. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we were literally across the country.
I don't. It's great. That's what it's so that's what I love. It's cool. Social media. There's no way in hell she and I would have ever crossed paths. I don't know. It's just crazy.
It's crazy. I'm just glad that she wrote back.
I'm glad I saw the message because I get a lot of messages and I a lot of times don't read them. You know what I mean? And like I don't even know why. I was just like I remember it was really late at night or something, and I think like I think I even had a couple of beers too. I'm not gonna lie. And like I was just like, oh sweet, some hot chick messaged me. And I was bored and like so I messaged back and I happened to see the message. Like I actually don't see a lot of the messages. You know, sometimes I get a ton of messages and like there's no way I could go through all of them, and then I'm just really bad about
responding.
Well, yeah, that too.
The lesson right here, if you're listening, look at your DM. You never know who you may meet.
Right, exactly. Seriously, it worked for us.
So
Sure.
at this time, where you're in your career was.
Yeah. So Pauline was doing MMA.
Yeah, I was already doing MMA.
Yeah.
I had already had like my first fight, and we met. Like basically like fuck, it wasn't even that long ago. Like how long? A year ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was like a year ago.
Oh, so what made you switch from, I guess, Olympic training judo athlete to MMA? Like I want to hit people now instead of flip them.
Okay, so that was in okay, so hold on, let me think of timeline. So basically what happened was when Rhonda had her first UFC fight, my parents it was in LA, and my parents went to go see her. You know, they watched her fight, and then I was still living in Colorado at the time, in Colorado Springs, still doing the judo thing. And Rhonda, it's so funny because Rhonda won, and then because Rhonda's mom and my mom are, you know, they're still friends to this day after all these years. But they, like Rhonda's mom invited my mom and dad and my brother to like, you know, her after party. So they went, and then I was in Colorado. I had actually just watched Rhonda's fight, and I got a phone call from my mom. And I picked up the phone, and it was Rhonda. And I was like, what? And I was like, hey, dude, congratulations. I just watched you fight on TV. Like, you know? And it was really cool. It was, I don't know, anyway, so that was that. Like, I really didn't think much of it. She was like, you need to come visit or something. We need to catch up. I was like, all right, well, I'll text you in a few days, whatever. You know, that's that. And at the time, I honestly was really getting burnt out of judo. This was in 2014, and I think it was 2014 or so when I really decided, like, because I had kind of talked to Rhonda about it, and she really was laid it out, and was like, I actually was at home in Los Angeles visiting family, and she was just like, look, she was like, judo, she's like, you're like, she goes, look at this life you could live, you can, you know, she really just basically like told me like, get out of judo, start doing MMA kind of thing, you know. And I gave it a long time. I mean, it was months and months and months and months, but I think I was just really burnt out of judo. I was tired. Almost 20 years I was, you know, still doing judo, and I really was just burnt out, and I was looking for something new. And Rhonda, like, she said it right and didn't even hesitate. Yeah, she didn't even hesitate. Like, I said, all right, I'm going to move. Let's do this. She said, all right, girl. She's like, I got you. And so that was it. I moved back to California. I started training at her gym, and that was it.
Awesome. That's cool how, like, you know, our friends can kind of help start something that's kind of like towards the future that we don't even see possible yet. So that's awesome how she kind of guided you there.
Yeah,
So,
and like she knows me so well. Like she's the one that hooked me up with like her old stunt agent kind of thing. Like got me into the stunt world to do stunts and whatnot. And then I ended up it was awesome. I ended up working with her and doing commercials with her and stuff. So she's a really good friend.
She's the homie.
She's awesome. Yeah, for sure the homie, dude. For sure the homie.
So Lynn, while you're over in Nashville, you're looking at Pauline over here, and you're like, all right, how do I make this move? So at what point was it like, all right, I want to be a part of your dream, a part of your journey?
You know, honestly, like we had great conversation because our relationship was really based on the phone for a while. Like the communication, like literally, like that's all we had was, you know, phone conversations and FaceTimes, and you know, you get to learn so much about somebody, you know, without the physical aspect to worry about too. Like you're legit just talking to them and learning about them and hearing their dreams and aspirations and goals. And, you know, like that's something I fell in love with. she was just so passionate about everything and her life and her journey and things that she wanted to accomplish. And you can't help but want to be a part of that. You know, like you're just like, for me, I was drawn to that. So from day one, I knew that I wanted to support her. I didn't know what that looked like at that moment, but I knew I wanted to be a part of it, even if it was just, you know, a phone call away and just being that support system that she needed. But little did I know it was going to turn into like much more. But no, I knew from day one that I wanted to be a part of it, because it was just that contagious energy and passion, you know, and you just, you're drawn to it. Like I was super drawn to that.
So Pauline, while this is happening, what are you thinking, like, I guess, like, what are your thoughts on this whole kind of, like, I know as athletes, sometimes you kind of want to focus on your sport and kind of leave everything else to the side. So how are you kind of balancing this transition, and what are your thoughts on this?
Well, you know, fortunately, like, I have a lot of experience being an athlete, you know, and, like, I've had relationships in the past when I was, you know, doing judo, and I saw how they affected me and whatnot. So, of course, like, I was very, actually, at the time when she and I met, like, I was very much on, like, the single path, like, it was just going to be me, you know, selfish, like, achieve my goals and dreams and this and that, and, like, and that's all I wanted, you know, and that was all my focus was. And because I know what comes with relationships, you know. However, like with Lin, I guess I just knew she was the one, because there were no issues with having a relationship. Only made me more positive, made me heading in a direction that I never even like imagined, you know.
That's what's up.
So even before like she really got involved in stuff, just the way we clicked and everything, like our personalities and like just her dreams and aspirations and her drive and, you know, and mine as well, like putting them together, like we just created this like team that was just unstoppable. And that doesn't happen a lot. Actually, it never has happened in relationships with me, you know. Like I know where the separation is, you know, with the relationship and the sport, and being able to like now, you know, because like your sport is your life, you know. And now I get to do like my sport, and now I have someone that's just included in that, not that it's not separate, you know what I mean. We became like this team, and it's just like everything that I like really had issues with, she was able to bring me up, not, you know, bring me down. And so I knew that like this was a different support I had never felt before and never even imagined possible. And now like sky, like I feel even more like sky's the limit, because it's like I have someone here that I know will, you know, is my ride or die, and will literally like work just as hard as me to make our dreams come true.
Team Pita.
You know, that yeah, exactly. She says that all the time. It's great. Mm-hmm.
So Lynn, at what point did you really like being a part of helping her pursue this MMA dream?
I guess it was right before she moved to Nashville. I flew to Los Angeles to see her. Didn't have a return flight, because sometimes I would just go and be like, you know, I would just come back when I can. And we were talking, and, you know, she just wanted to make some changes. She just didn't feel like her career was taking off like it should. And, you know, there were just things that were going on that she just wanted, you know, she wanted to chase her dreams no matter what. And she was just putting the focus on her. And so I have a friend who actually he's one of the owners of the gym that she trains at. He's in the UFC. Yeah. His name is Luke Sanders, but now he's one of the owners at Nashville MMA. And so I just messaged him and messaged Coach Chris Beasley, her boxing coach, and just talked to them a little bit about it. And they were like, absolutely, just, you know, see if she wants to come out and just train with us for a little bit. So we just kind of talked it over. And that night, actually, she decided just to throw some things in the car, and we drove her car here. And the dog, Champ, our German Shepherd. So literally that night, we packed the car and we drove from California to Nashville. And so I don't know. I mean, I kind of made the phone call to, you know, just call in a favor for a friend. And then, I don't know, I've just been a part of it ever since. Like, I've just, you know, once her first fight happened here, it just kind of kept going. And then I don't know, like I managed everything for her first fight here in Nashville.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like, no joke, like, because basically my coach, like Chris Beasley, he was like, oh, Lin, this fight promoter had approached Lin or something. I don't remember exactly, but basically it was crazy. It was just like Lin kind of just like, they were like, oh man, I was like, we should probably talk about sponsorships or something, because I have an agent, I have the same agent as Nick Diaz, but so they like, I kind of had, an idea of what needed to kind of get done and stuff, but like me doing, like, I am not good at that business side of it, like all the paperwork, getting everything done, and like emails and sponsorships and like the marketing side of it, and because Team Pita, I mean, essentially it's like I'm a business, and so Lin like just literally like just started making phone calls, started making emails, and like before we knew it, like she was just like a fucking boss. Like all of a sudden I have these sponsors, and like all, like everything just started falling into place, and like it was just crazy. Like it was insane, and it was just like, and it worked so well, and it fit, and like I trust Lin with my life. And then she just sends, like, she would write up all the contracts, she made everything, she would just send it to like my agent, and like make sure the lawyer checked or whatever and made sure everything was fine, and boom, they'd send it back, and like she was just on it. And it was just like there was I knew at that moment, I was like, this is the team. Like there was no way, like there was like everything that I had thought that I would be so stressed about, having to worry, the business side of it, all that, like I would get so stressed about it that it would affect my training. And the second Lin like literally just took it over, and I never had to worry about anything again. It was just like, yeah, I can't even explain how incredible that feeling is.
Yeah, for her to like ask me to do all of it, because I don't ever do anything without her saying, hey Lin, because I never want to cross boundaries, like I want to keep it, like her handle things that she wants to handle. If she wants me to handle something, that's great, but she has relied on me a lot. But it's been good. It's like I look out for her. I love her, like, and we talked about it, so it's like who else better to manage, than the person that you love, and that person loves you, and I'm going to look out for her, and she's going to have my back as well. So it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of fit, and it just happened, and it works, and we're excited.
I think that's awesome just to hear how you kind of do that, because, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of athletes out there that have, or, male and female that kind of have someone in their life that's really important to them, to kind of like show them like, hey, like I'm going to be there for you, not just to be cheering for you, but have to be a part of the daily grind. And it looks like you're so much in the grind with her on everything.
Yeah, and I told her, I said, I am 110% okay with being in the background as long as your dreams come true, as long as you don't quit. Like, I'm not going to let her quit. Like, she has a dream, she's going to go after it. And I told her, I don't mind to be in the background and to be able to look at her and see a smile on her face and know that she's doing everything she can to make her dream come true. But she wants me a part of it. She, and it works, and we've moved mountains together, and it's an awesome thing. And, I had a successful career in the medical field, and, I tried working the 9 to 5 through her first fight, and, there just wasn't enough time to devote to her like I needed to, and her fight camp and just the managing part of it. So we took a huge leap of faith, and I quit my job and decided to go back to bartending. So it was more flexible, and, I'm able to reach out to more sponsors and, sit through meetings, or, whatever I need to for her. And for us, really, and it's more time, with our families, et cetera. So we've been able to do a lot since then, but it's awesome. It's been worth the sacrifice for sure. And we're moving mountains, so we're so excited.
Here's another part that people don't know either. She also has been like turned into like my manager for stunts now too. Like, we got connected with someone that, with the stunt coordinator on the show Nashville, and literally like all the paperwork having to do with any of my, whatever job I have or whatever, she does it like all. Like, really have no idea what I do without her. So I've done some stunt work for the show Nashville several times now, and it's just like, it just seemed like everything, once we like really devoted like our lives and really were like, this is what we want, and I just want to have her work ever again in her life. Like, I would love that, because it's like, she puts like, just like, yes, I'm the one training and putting in the hours in the gym, but she is right there with me, like every step of the way, like literally sitting there for hours and hours at the gym. I know she gets bored and I know she doesn't want to sit there, but she does it because she like cares, and she'll take video because it'll help me so I can look at them later, or she'll take pictures just to have them. And then like, she just, anything, like, it's insane. Like, I can't even explain like the amount of work she does. She puts in way more hours than I do, for sure. For each camp, like, she works fucking her ass off every single fight. So everything is taken care of. So all I have to worry about is training and winning the fight.
Y'all are really a true team. I'm learning that like the journey is better when it's shared. It's safe to say that you kind of feed off each other a little bit energy-wise.
Oh my gosh, that is the one thing that I've never had that before in my life, and it's incredible because like, as an athlete, like, we can be so emotional, and it's such a mind game, and there are days where I am like so down, like down, if something didn't go right at practice or something, I guess, this is your life. Things aren't working the way you want. You lose it a little, and you understand. And then like, so those days when Lin is able, like, she just, before, like, if I was in a relationship and I was having a down day, it would just turn into like a fight and disaster, and then the relationship would affect me even more, and I'm already down from my sports and whatnot. So with Lin, it's complete opposite. Literally, like, if I'm down, she just knows what to say, how, she just knows exactly what to do to like keep me inspired and make me remember why we're doing this. Because trust me, there are times where we are fucking exhausted, and we only have one car right now, and so like, there are times where we're both exhausted, and like, she got off of work at 4 or 5 a.m. and we literally will drive all the way back to Murfreesboro, sleep for like an hour or two, and then I have to get up and get right back to the gym, and we're right there with each other, and she's right there with me. Like, there's just,
we feed off each other for sure. Our energy is great together. Don't get me wrong, just like every relationship, we have our days.
Yeah.
And we may have our weeks, but at the end of the day, it's just because it's, we do everything together. We essentially work together, we travel together, we do life together. So there are days when you kind of, all the negative things that happen around you takes a toll on your relationship a little bit. It's not always pretty. Like, this life is not glamorous at all, but
it's a grind.
It's a grind, and it's stressful and it's hard, but it's absolutely worth it. And at the end of the day, we get grounded a little bit more, and it's, and
it always ends up okay. And it's like,
yeah.
And like, there's like, you don't find very many people in life that will just be your ride or die. Like, there are days, like, there have been times where we're like, oh, we're down to like next to nothing in the account, like, you know what I mean? And we painted like a tiny home before. We've just like, she'd pick up extra hours or something. I would go find a private zoo or something, like, we will just work and we do whatever it takes. And there are days where, like, my God, I don't know how Lin does it. There are days where I know she hasn't slept because God knows what was going on or whatever. And
then we have, we have 2 kids.
Yeah.
We have 2 boys, 10 and 7, Carter and Grayson. So, we're moms too.
Yeah.
We've got their sports and their activities, and but they're they're at the gym with us too.
Sometimes they have to come to the gym with us and watch me practice, but
it's all worth it. Like, we definitely want people to know about our journey, because we feel like so much is lost with athletes, and you just see the glamour, and it's not all that way. Like, we want people to know exactly how it is. Like, we keep notes, and I take pictures and videos, and we write stuff down because we want to journal those things so that people can reach out to us at any time if they have any questions or advice. But we want people to really see like the inside of how it is. Our goal is to have a book one day. Like, we want everybody to know, like, details, personal details that a lot of people don't feel comfortable sharing, but
I feel like the world needs to talk more about it because there's so many people out there that I think if they just had like a little something to relate to, you know, and I don't know.
Exactly.
It could be a game changer because a lot of people, when things get hard, they're just like, oh, well, it's not supposed to be this hard. It's supposed to be easy, so I'm just going to quit. You know what I mean? So I feel like if people really know that, yes, it is hard. It is not easy.
It is fucking hard.
But if you know that going into it, you know, like it's not going to be all pretty, but at the end of the day, the results are going to be amazing. You know what I mean? So we really want people to,
like
connect with us
and understand. Like you don't like. Let me tell you, I think like there's so much more Linda hasn't even said. Lynn also, like, no joke, because like when I'm training, I'm cutting weight. Like she literally like will make my food. She will make sometimes like I'll like I'm just so out of it. I'm so exhausted and like so tired, and I'm just like trying to find workout clothes. She's like, here, babe, and like she already has it laid out, and she already has my bags packed for practice, and I'm just like, geez, you know, my foods are like cooked or stuff, like, you know, I'm like, how in the world does she do it, like, you know, and like she does all that, everything, like literally everything, and somehow takes care of the kids, and somehow like makes sure like we get everything done in life as well, you know, like I don't know how she does it. There are times like too where it's like super late at night and it's 4 a.m. and she just got off work and I'm like, babe, I'm driving home, let's go. Like, and I will sit there at her work until she's off, you know, and it's because like I'm like, and people are like, oh my gosh, you don't have to sit at her, like her coworkers, like, you know, like I can't believe you just sit here until she's done. Like you could just come back. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing. One, like it's like it's not like I get if I don't sit here and hang out like while she's working and stuff for a little bit. There's not a lot of time we'll get to see each other. We're so you know, or like even like just spend time together. Even though we're always together, like we don't get to spend a lot of time together, if that makes sense. So, and I'm like, and I tell people, I'm like, you have no idea the amount of hours she has sat on the side of the mat while I am training. I was like, I do not mind sitting here for a little bit, you know, making sure that she gets home safe at 4 or 5 a.m. when she's exhausted and just worked a double, you know what I mean? So it's like the way we do it, like work for each other is like great. I feel like she does a lot more for me, but
that's not true.
I feel like it is, but.
So for anyone listening that, you know, that's an athlete and their, you know, their girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, husband, what advice would you give them on how to maybe like kind of just manage this journey together?
Communication is key. You have to be able to communicate. You know, and you just have to get real with each other.
Yeah, I was just going to say honesty.
You really do. You really,
honesty.
It's not always pretty. It's not always what you want to hear. But if, you know, you're truly committed to somebody and their dream, and if you want to be a part of that journey, you know, you have to understand that it's their dream. You know, like other people, you may have your own dream, but it's their dream, you know, and you have to be able to be that person and just kind of be selfless. Like you really have to, as a partner for me, I know I have to be selfless because this is her dream and this is a dream that we've created together and this empire that we have that we want to build. And you have to be selfless, like, because fighters and athletes in general have to be selfish. You know, they have a dream that they want to achieve. And, but communication is key. Just be understanding, be patient because it takes time. And they, you know, just understand, because I know Pita loves me. Like I know she loves the hell out of me. And there's times she may not show it, but you just have to understand and be patient that, you know, your partner may not always show it because they're busy and, you know, they're focused on the gym or a fight. So it just, I don't know, it's a lot, but you just have to be, you know, you just have to make sure it's what you want to do, first of all, because when you dive head first into somebody else's life and their career, you know, it'll consume you. And if it's not something you're ready for or willing to do, it will break the relationship. So just communication is key, and being patient and open and honest and just real with each other.
And like on my side of it, I would say, like the athlete side is that I've really, and it's taken time still to this, it's something I still work on, but I would say, when you have someone who literally gives up everything for you, you know, and is there with you for your journey and working, you know, just as hard, if not harder, for your dream, like you have to make sure, like, to sometimes even though it's so easy to get so caught up and so consumed in the fight and, you know, your sport and like your training, and you have to just, the biggest thing is sometimes take a step back, you know, or stop for a second and just make sure you like let your partner know you appreciate them, because they do need to know. And like if you don't tell them, you know, like communication, they don't know unless you tell them. So sometimes like something I have to make sure, sometimes I have to take a step back and make sure I tell her, like, you know, how much I appreciate her, how much I love her, how much she means to me, and make sure you take care of them as well. Like it is easy to be so selfish, and you have to be, but you still have to like make sure you take a little bit of time to show your partner your appreciation. And I think that's a big thing on my side that I think is really important, just to make sure to keep the relationship and the whole like team going, you know. Sometimes
just make sure like through the process you have fun.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have so much fun.
You can't be small-minded. You have to be a dreamer, and you have to, you know, be so open-minded that plans will change at the drop of the hat. And, you know, like just have fun with it, because it's your life. Like it is your life, and it's going to be hard, and it's not always going to be pretty, but try to find the silver lining out of every situation.
Which we do. We have really done that. Like anytime little things happen, we're just like, yes, like any little like step that is like in a positive direction, we're like, fuck yeah.
We get excited over good parking spots, okay? Like we literally try to live life like,
I mean, that's real little, but like
seriously, like you have to be lighthearted and open-minded, you know, just
keep
your,
and you pick, you know, on the athlete side too, before I forget, sorry, it's kind of a little off topic, but before I forget, on the athlete side, like your partner and you have to be willing to know that you are going to give up everything. When I say everything, there are going to be times when you're going to miss Christmases, you're going to miss birthdays, you're going to miss things. You have to be like, if you find someone who's willing to give up their life just like you are, you know, for this dream, you have to be, the athletes just have to remember, like, if they are willing to give up every single thing in life, including missing Christmases, missing birthdays, missing whatever, funerals, I've missed those too. And I'm not saying like it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, but I'm just saying like, you have to be willing to give up everything for a dream. And when you find somebody who's willing to give up everything with you, like, do not let that go. And when you're fighting, you know, and the hard work and the, you know, the struggles and the arguments or whatever, you know, like, stay positive, find ways that work for you guys, like as a unit, to just really, like, you know, if we're ever going to like in a point where we're just like, you know, we're struggling, we're both so like, you know, it gets hard, and in those toughest moments, know that that one person that is is your ride or die is right next to you. Appreciate them and let the small things go, and just stay positive. It's so hard to stay positive, but find the balance between each other.
And we've had, like, you will lose friends. And I say this, if they are true friends, then you won't lose them. But you will lose people in your life because you cannot go to every event or go to, you know, it's not easy. And, you know, it's not always easy with family either. Like, you know, people get upset, but at the same time, we both have very supportive families, and, you know, they understand. But I think, you know, for us lately, we've had to, in order for us to rise even higher, like we have to eliminate like a lot of negativity out of our life. So we're, you know, like atmosphere, like it doesn't matter what it is, anything that's negative, you know, that's kind of been our focus lately. And just so, you know, for athletes and, you know, your spouses or whomever, you know, just make sure that you stay on the same page and don't listen to anybody. It's your dream.
Yeah.
Go after it.
Oh, you know what? This is the biggest thing I have to say. This is the biggest thing I have to say for any like couple or, you know, individual and couple, like, you know, whatnot. The biggest thing is you have to live life for you. That's the one thing Lin and I have really, like, lately, especially, I've really been trying to like practice, is living life for us. Like, we can't make everybody happy. We're never going to make everybody happy, but we know what we want to do in life. We know the dreams we want to accomplish, and we are literally going to do anything anything and everything it takes to get there, and we're never going to quit. And we've really had to make our like bubble so small and live for us, nobody else but for us. And once we really started to do that, like, you would be amazed at the growth and like just the growth in the relationship, but not only that, and the growth in like just our like career as well. Like, it just seems like everything's just heading in the right direction. So
I love how this whole talk, you two have both used we and team so many times, and it shows how I guess like you're kind of in one, you know, and that's just pretty dope. And I think people can really get inspired by that. They're kind of on that same journey with, you know, whether they're a minor league baseball player that's not getting paid much but wants to be in the major leagues one day, or, you know, the MMA fighter or football player in college. So I think it can really relatable to a lot of people who listen to this. So definitely.
Yeah. Oh, it's tough. It's hard, but I've never had so much fun in my life either, though. Like,
oh my
we
gosh,
keep saying
we have
that.
so much fun.
We're just like, man, this is our life. Like, nobody, like, obviously, like, we're just like, you are always texting us and we're always somewhere else, and but yet, like, yeah, and like, it's so fun, and the people we meet are incredible, and like, this journey, it is hard. But like, we make it so fun, and
and we try to stay positive, and people, they're drawn to that too. And you know,
we've had a lot of people come up to us lately, and just are like, I'm so, like, you guys are just so great. We just love you guys. Like, you're literally like the definition of like gay or straight. They're like, you are literally like just a perfect couple. Like people are just like, you guys are such a power couple. You guys are just great. Like, people look up to us because we have such a great relationship, and it's just like, but they also know that we're real, though. Like, we're real about it. We're not like fake and like you just always get happy and this and that. Like, no, we're very real. We're always real, and we put ourselves out there a lot, and I think
people respect that. They're drawn to that. You know, it's contagious. They want to be a part of it. You know, so it's a huge thing.
Real.
To stay positive. Yeah, and we try to stay as positive as we can too. And I think people see that too.
It's like, and I haven't always been this way my whole life. So like, but really, that's how I know I'm with the right person. That's how I know this team is perfect. That's how I know I'm marrying like literally my soulmate, is because like it just works. Like, I don't know, and it just works, and we do bring out the positive and best in each other.
And it's funny because we were driving down the road one day, and Pita was telling me that Rhonda's mom used to say, if it works, it's right. And that's exactly right. You know, if it works, it's right. And it may not look right to somebody else, but it works. You know what I mean?
A lot of people, like, you'd be surprised at the amount of people that criticize our life.
We have a lot of haters.
You know, because, like, you know, I mean, because I easily, like, we both went to college. Like, Lin had a successful medical career. I literally, since like I graduated from college, I worked at a PT clinic for 5 years. Like, I got into grad school 3 times. I just never went. Like, I couldn't, like, there's, you know, I went through the entire FBI process. Like, there's so much that, like, I could be doing, you know, as opposed to fighting, you know, and, like, you know, because I'm 29 years old, people, like, just expect you to, like, be fully, like, I mean, conventional, really. Conventional is, like, probably the best word, and we are the complete opposite of conventional.
Yeah. I mean, people understand it. Like, I don't know, people expect you, I guess they go through life and they see you grow up and expect you to do certain things, or, like, want you to do certain things, and then, surprise, we don't, you know, we do something totally opposite, and it's not always a fan favorite, but, you know, but it's our life, and it's our dream, and it's what we want, and so we've really
we live for us.
Yeah, we've really had to focus on that, because, you know, we can't lose any ground. I mean, neither one of us are getting any younger. You know, we can't lose ground. Like, we have to keep going and, you know, rolling it, whatever life throws our way, but we also have to, at the same time, we have to stay positive and get whatever around us that's going on that's negative, just, you know, get through it and move on and not let it out.
Yeah, it's now or never. Like, and that's what we know about life. We're like, we are never gonna be this age ever again. Like, we have, like, right now, just the 2 of us. Like, luckily the boys are a little older too, and they go, like, we have them 50% of the time. Their dad has them 50% of the time, and it's great. It's just like, we make it work. And then, like, Lin, no other time in our life are we gonna be able to do this. And we have to remind each other all the time when times are hard, and, you know, but you know what, we have we just, I don't know, we make it work, and it's awesome. And I've never been so happy in my life, and I've never had so much fun in my life. You know, I've done some awesome things in my life and traveled the world and done all this with you. Like, I have had like I've been very fortunate to have a very exciting life, but I've never had as much fun and never been so happy in my life. So I know that what I'm doing is right. Like, so.
So we kind of work toward wrapping up a little bit. So what's next for Team Pita? What's the next big goal? What things you want to achieve as we go into this new year?
I'll go first because I'll be super quick with that. You know, honestly, like 2018 is going to be an amazing year for Team Pita. You know, she has the fight right off the bat after the first of the year on the 20th. So that's a huge deal. We do have 2 new sponsors as we move into the first of the year. We have a meal prep company, The Good Kitchen, that is going to be sponsoring her, and then her uncle's business as well. He's based out of California. So we have 2 new sponsors, which is a huge deal. We always love new people a part of our team. We've got some ideas for some training and, you know, different ideas for fight camps and some people that she's going to be working with and training with. And, you know, we're trying, my goal, Team Pita's goal this year is to, you know, amp up the social media and, you know, focus on that. And then we're going to be focusing on making Team Pita an LLC. So that's our focus. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we're doing to move forward and, you know, hopefully affect us in a positive way. So yeah, that's what I have in the back of my mind for 2018 for Team Pita. What about you, babe?
Me? Well, of course I have to fight right off the bat the 20th, but I mean, my goal is we're going to turn pro this year for sure. I want to win. Obviously I want to win, but like this year I really want to like turn pro and really break out in the fight world more so, you know, than I don't even know if I can imagine yet, but like I really want to break out into the fight world this year and show the world what I have. And I mean, hopefully, like if we can, you know, we're gonna do everything we can to keep injury free and just keep fighting. And I want to be in the UFC. Like, if it happened by the end of this year, that would be incredible. I don't know. It could be a stretch. Some people might think it's crazy, and it could be a stretch. I don't know, but I'm gonna work my ass off. And my biggest goal is to break out into the fight world this year. So people know who I am, kind of thing.
So speaking of social media, where can people find you two at?
Yeah, so my social media is _innerstrength_. And Facebook, it's just Lynn Marie Burks. It's under Lynn Burks on Instagram.
Lin.
Twitter, I don't really mess with a lot of Twitter.
Don't worry about it.
We usually just do Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat. So yeah, and Pita's.
My stuff is all Pauline, Pita, Macias.
Yeah. We're
like
hoping to have a Team Pita website up this year as well.
Dope.
Oh yeah, that's another thing for 2018. A website and social media boost, and for me to turn pro and break out into the fight world.
Yep. And I think we're going to start having on the website, and obviously I'll keep you posted, and on social media we'll have it all posted as well, but we're going to have a website. People will be able to purchase Team Pita shirts and some other gear, and we have some.
Yeah, we're launching like some Team Pita gear.
Yeah, for sure.
So one last question, because I'm curious. How'd you get the name Pita? That something from judo or something that just stuck with you?
Oh, I didn't tell you that? Okay, you have to know.
It stands for pain in the ass.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, PITA, pain in the ass.
But, okay, yes, I guess I am a pain in the ass. But I basically when I was, I've been a pain in the ass my entire life. But, you know, like my mom, when she was pregnant with me, she had some issues with the pregnancy, and the doctor told her I was deformed and wouldn't live a fulfilled life and all this stuff. And my dad's like, oh my gosh, she's a pain in the ass. She's not even born. She's a pain in the ass. She's not even born. She's Pita. And then like when I was actually born, like when I was being delivered or whatever, like the doctor was like, oh, she's not coming yet. Don't worry. My mom's like, I really think she is. And I like zoomed out and the nurse like literally caught me. The doctor was still putting his gloves on. And my dad, like, I guess I don't know if he said it or what exactly. He was like, see, she's a pain in the ass, Pita. Like, it was just kind of like a thing. So it's just been my nickname my whole life. So now I get a fight name, and now I'm like, oh, hell, dude, I'm going to make Pita, like, awesome. Because everybody that hears it, they're like, Pita, like, oh, yeah, it fits. But I'm like, okay, yeah, it fits. Okay, yeah, but it's a cool story.
I know now. Pita. All right. Pain in the ass. All right. Go. Well, I appreciate you two so much for talking with me.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to reach out to people and, be that avenue.
And just, like, share our story. Like, we can even have, like, a further more, like, to the story, like, later on and stuff.
Part two.
There you go.
Part two. Hey, I'm all for it. Team Pita all the way. Well,
Right.
dope. And I'll talk to you two soon. And thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the 9 Point Started with a Dream podcast. I was your host, Jacoby Gillum. If you enjoyed this episode, please comment, share, leave a review. We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can check out more about what we're doing with 9 Point at 9point.com. Till the next episode, talk to you soon.